Are the Spurs coming back down to earth? And did what Caruso had to say about Victor Wembanyama, was he right?
You are Locked On Spurs, your daily San Antonio Spurs podcast, part of the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day.
Happy Friday. Welcome back to Locked On Spurs. We're doing the Locked On NBA Network. I'm your host, Jeff Garcia, Spurs writer for Kansas City, San Antonio. Glad to have y'all back. Hope you're having a great day. As always, we thank y'all for making Locked On Spurs your first listen each and every day. Free and available where we get podcasts, iTunes, Spotify, Kansas City Plus app, YouTube. You know what to do. Become an everydayer. Subscribe right now. Today's episode is brought to you by FanDuel. You want to check out FanDuel right now before tip-off, because the FanDuel app is where you want to be, where you can see what's dropping during NBA happy hour every Friday from 6 to 7:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Hey, and also don't forget to sign up to the Locked On Spurs Everydayer Club. You just want to go to lockedonpodcasts.com/everydayer club, sign up, ad-free shows, Discord channel, the works. Go sign up right now. What are we talking about today? We're going to be asking the big question: are the Spurs coming back down to earth? Hot start to the season. Undefeated start, was at 5-0. Had a long winning streak, about 8 games there. We're winning without Victor Wembanyama on the sideline. Castle's on fire to start the season. The list goes on and on and on. But then, not too great over the last few games. They're hovering around 500 the last 6-8 games. If you go back a little further than that, ahead of the Milwaukee game, they're actually 1-2 in their last 3. So they're kind of sputtering right now. But in every NBA season, we see teams kind of cool off a bit. Are the Spurs going through that right now? And then we're going to close out the show with Alex Caruso, the Thunder guy. He had some interesting comments about Victor Wembanyama and his development. It sparked a lot of Spurs fans for, flipping tables at Alex and what he had to say. But I don't think I have a problem with what he had to say. But we'll discuss that in a few minutes. Let's go to bring in our guest. He is mobile today, everybody. Heads up before I bring him in. He's mobile today. He's driving. He's going to try to podcast and drive at the same time. And look who is back, a guy that we've been trying to get on for a while, but now we have him on. He is Mike Jimenez, formerly with San Antonio Sports Star. You want to follow him on X at MJ Acquired Taste. First of all, Jimenez, thank you for doing this, and be careful while you're driving, please. Just be careful.
Oh, not a problem at all, man. Not a problem at all. Glad to be back.
Yeah. Everybody, for those who've asked, yes, Jimenez, go look at the Locked On Spurs fan comments. There's somebody who asked, where you been? We've been trying. I've texted him several times, but he's a busy man, as you can see on your screen right now, working 9 to 5, all that good stuff, taking care of his clients. If you need some information about financial health, go to Jimenez. More on that later. Mike, but you've been doing all right?
I've been doing great, and I've never been more excited about a topic than what we've had today because, you sent me the request as to what you wanted to talk about, and I was like, man, we really need to have this conversation.
Yeah. Coming back down to earth. Let's kick it off right now. As mentioned, the Spurs have been sputtering going into last night's game versus Milwaukee. Last 3 games, 1-2. Go a little further back. The last 6, they were 2-4. Again, not a good point in their season right now. Jimenez, we see this a lot. We see with other teams. Remember last year, was it Cleveland? Hot start, and they cooled off. You can go through every season past in the NBA. This always happens to teams. They kind of settle down. Jimenez, are we seeing that right now? Are the Spurs coming back down to earth?
It's kind of hard to say. When we saw that with the Oklahoma City Thunder, they went 24-1 to start the year. Then they went 6-6 the next 12. 3 of those losses come into the Spurs. It's hard to say because the answer is going to be, well, what do the Spurs look like when Devin Vassell comes back?
Yeah,
that is the reason why I'm not so concerned about this as of yet, because to me, one of 2 things is happening. They're either falling back down to earth or they're suffering from the fact that Vassell's not there, and we didn't realize how important Vassell was to the spacing on the floor. So I'm going to reserve judgment on this so far for the moment until Vassell comes back and see if the Spurs get back to their winning ways when he's back in the lineup. It's funny, the Spurs lost. We're winning without Wemby. The Spurs were winning without Castle. They were winning without Harper.
Sure.
But Vassell's absence has been dramatic in what the Spurs have been unable to accomplish offensively. And there's a lot going on when it comes to all that. Didn't realize how important he was to the team and to the rotation. So right now, are they coming back down to earth? maybe, just maybe, it's an injury thing that's tripping them up.
Yeah, I'm with you. It's hard to pinpoint that right now. I feel like I need a larger sample size of this moment in their season to kind of figure things out. So I'm gonna say they're not coming back down to earth. What I am gonna say is I think they're a victim of the NBA schedule. Whoever made for Spurs start the season, I mean, the Spurs got home two matches they borrowed, or it's like that because how do you go from the January New Year's Eve break? Three sets of back to back. And they weren't normal back to backs. There was one where home and away, home and away. So that's a lot of travel. Also, too, yeah, I think L being out for a while kind of threw off the rotation. Guys got to step up their game, and we really haven't been seeing that. And then what I'm worried about too is the 3-guard lineup right now. They're not shooting well. You almost kind of want to give a pass to Dylan Harper. Every rookie has the wall. Maybe he's hitting it right now. But how does De'Aaron Fox have 9 shot attempts in the last week? They go 5 for 9. Castle, Washington. Let's look at the right now. I'm going to call this moment a bump in the road. What about you?
Well, one of the things that you're mentioning there is the shooting woes of the Spurs. That's the one thing that is the most concerning to me. Okay, so we're going to say that they're coming back down to earth. How is it that you have all 3 guards struggling at the same time?
Yeah.
How is it that Harper, Fox, and Castle, all 3 of them are struggling, and all 3 are shooting terribly from 3? Castle is remarkably bad. You know, I've infamously made fun of Sohan's 3-point inability over the years, and Castle shooting worse than him. So it's kind of strange. We've got these mid-range specialists at the guard positions, and they can't shoot a 3 to save their lives. And Vassell leaves, and suddenly there's no spacing because Barnes got cold. You know, that's another player that has struggled as well. So it's weird that it's not just one player that's struggling. It's basically half the roster that's struggling. And because you have no 3-point threat out there, I mean, Champagne from time to time is, but for the most part, you don't have multiple 3-point threats out there. You see defenses sag into the lane. We saw this when Sohan was out there playing. Even though he was only playing 9 to 15 minutes, his defender was 16 to 18 feet away from him at all times until the ball swung back around. So it's like, it's a domino effect where the 3-point shot's not going in. Therefore, the defender does not have to respect your 3-point shot. Yep. That affects the 2-point range, or affects the lane because it gets more congested down low because they're daring you to shoot that 3. And that has me wondering if the Spurs are going to be buyers this February when it comes to the trade deadline, which is less than a month away. Heck, it's just a few weeks away. Are the Spurs going to be in the buyer's market for a 3-point shooter? Because that's what we need. We need somebody who can spread the floor. And without Vassell out there, and with Barnes struggling, and Fox and Castle and Harper struggling, there's just no fluidity to the game. There's no fluidity to the offense. The Spurs need shooting. They need to spread the floor. And it's not just been one game of bad 3-point shooting. We're talking about games in a row of bad 3-point shooting. And it all started when Vassell got hurt.
Yeah, exactly. And I look at just Vassell, the gravity that he creates, how much he can suck the defenders into him, because he's not necessarily just one of the better 3-point shooters for the roster. He ranks among some of the best mid-range shooters as well. So you lose that spacing. I was having some fun the other day on the Locked On Spurs Roundtable Squad show with Devin Brown and Casey Vieira. And we looked at the 2-man lineup with Castle and Wemby, Castle and Fox. They were hovering around the same. They were both about a plus 9.5, 9.7 each. All right. But then we said, okay, for funsies, let's see a 2-man lineup with Wemby and Champagne, plus 17. You know why? Because Champagne can spread the floor. So it kind of begs, the numbers there prove it, although they were a plus 9.5, 9.7 for Fox and Castle. But he needs those kind of wing players around him, guard players, to spread the floor. And that's what Vassell did. Now, it's not necessarily just on Vassell why the offense is sputtering. It's not. He's a reason, but not the reason. There's other factors, too. And I want to get into a big factor coming up next right here on Locked On Spurs with Mike Jimenez, formerly with San Antonio Sports Star. He's on X at MJ Acquired Taste. Give him a follow right now.
This season's heating up, and DoorDash has a way to keep fans in their bag the whole way through. Whether you're watching highlights, the tunnel fits, or just your favorite player, DoorDash makes it the entire season so much fun. Because every player has their bag. With DoorDash, fans have one too. DoorDash keeps your snacks stocked, your gear fresh, your watch party vibes absolutely on point. There are nights when your team stresses you out, right? Let DoorDash become your post-game therapy. Sometimes you just need dessert, like now. Those late-night interview hits? Well, suddenly you need chips at midnight, right? DoorDash is built exactly for that. And if group chat says pull up, DoorDash makes sure you showed up prepared. Snacks, cups, even a phone charger for the friend who always at 2%. From tip-off to overtime, stay in your bag and order DoorDash. Get snacks, drinks, gear, whatever gets you through the season delivered right to your door. DoorDash, in your bag all season long. Thank you for making Locked On Spurs your first listen of the day, and thank you for making Locked On the #1 sports podcast network. If you haven't already, go check out our new Everydayer Club. Access to ad-free audio feed for Locked On Spurs, compatible with Apple's Podcasts, Spotify, and every other major podcast app. An invite to the members-only Locked On Everydayer Club Discord server, which includes a group chat for just listeners of this show and, well, hanging out with a lot of other fans on Discord. You want to go to this website right now, lockedonpodcast.com/everydayerclub. Go there right now, or just tap the link in the show notes to learn more.
We're back right here on Locked On Spurs, joined by Mike Jimenez, formerly with San Antonio Sports Star. He is on X at MJ Acquired Taste, driving very safely right now. Eyes on the road, Aaron. It's eyes on the road. Hey, Jimenez, we're talking about whether the Spurs are coming back down to earth, and we both in agreement. We don't think that's happening right now. We believe it's a little bit of a byproduct of the schedule, having Vassell out, everybody going cold. But another big reason I think is that maybe opposing defenses have the book on the Spurs is let's just crowd the lane. All right. Fox, Castle, and Harper, we know your bread and butter is in the paint. Well, let's take that away from you. Let's crowd that paint and go ahead and take the long 2 or the 3 shot. Could that be a reason why the offense is sputtering as well? Maybe the book is out.
Well, I mean, when you don't have proficiency from 3, they're daring you to shoot it. They're going to sag inside and they're going to clog the lane. And we're seeing Harper earlier in the season. Harper seemed to be just weaving his way through the lane with no problem, and now it seems like he's hitting a brick wall every time he tries to drive in. And Castle's fighting for his life, trying to get layups up half the time. And I'm slightly exaggerating, but the fact of the matter is that it's not as fluid as it was earlier in the year, and it's a byproduct of one thing over another. It's one domino hitting another domino, and it all starts with the fact that they can't make a long-range jumper consistently. And, the understanding Wemby and what Wemby brings to the team and trying to get him off the game, do they have the book on the Spurs? I can see where you're going with that.
Mm-hmm.
And, I don't know when we're going to be talking about Alex Caruso's comments or maybe Gilbert Arenas' comments.
Oh, it's coming up next.
On Wemby. But that really needs to be addressed, and it really needs to be looked at. But the Spurs, but Wemby is not asserting himself down low like he should. And, if the threes aren't falling, then Wemby needs to assert himself, and that's not happening. He's playing at an all-star level. He is one of the top 10 players in the NBA right now. But, man, I was looking at his stats today. Jeff, it is so bizarre if you look at his stats compared to last year. Going into the Milwaukee game, did you know that he has the exact same three-point shooting percentage to the 1,000th as he did last year?
No,
did you know that it's exact same? It's like 35.7%. Like 30. It's identical to what it was last year. He has the identical rebounds per game. He has the identical to the 1,000th effective field goal shooting percentage as last year. He has the identical free throw shooting percentage to the 1,000th compared to last year. He literally is the same player as he was last year. So Wemby hasn't taken a leap this year. The only thing that he's done is reduce the number of three-point attempts, and his two-point shooting has gotten a little bit better. But aside from that, he's the same as he was last year. And we were hoping for a development. We were hoping for a leap from him this year. We haven't seen it yet. Maybe it's because of injury. Maybe it's because of the minutes restrictions. You can give him excuses, but when he's on the court, he's doing the exact same numbers, literally to the thousandth that he did last year.
Yeah, I'm not too terribly worried about that. I do think it is because he's been starting, getting benched, getting out because of injuries. I think there's a little bit of that as well. And also, too, just right now, collectively, the team seems to be off right now. But again, we'll see how that shakes out. But nevertheless, Jimenez, I think for me, I am not surprised that the team is struggling offensively because of the lack of four spacers. Because wasn't that one of the big issues heading into the new season? It is great. The Spurs team is talented, a deep roster, etc. But where are the snipers? Okay, there's Champagny. I guess we could call him a sniper. But Vassell, he got better this year, but now he's out. You know, we know Fox, Castle, and Harper, they had the reputation of entering this season as, oh, are they really three-point threats, long two threats? You know, there was kind of the vibe like that. So maybe what we saw heading into the new season is kind of coming to light right now. Jimenez, your thoughts?
So you're basically saying that the red flags that were there are just manifesting themselves?
Yeah, they're coming out right now, yeah.
The problems that we saw before, and I can see that. I mean, because we said before the season started, we don't have any three-point shooting. And what's going on right now? We have no three-point shooting.
We're shooting now.
So I understand that. We were talking about whether the three-guard rotation of Castle, Fox, and Harper, if that could coexist. First 2 months of the season, it existed very well. The last month, it hasn't existed at all. And, you know, and now you question the fact whether or not all three need to be on the team. You know, because it was looking like a month ago like it was a no-brainer to keep all three. But now you're looking at it and thinking to yourself, well, maybe, just maybe, having that stretch four, maybe, just maybe, having another elite shooter would be the better answer. And I saw some rumblings on Spurs Twitter the other day. This wasn't me, man. I swear to you, it wasn't me. I know. Sure. No, I know it wasn't a burner account or anything like that. I know people come after me a lot, but there are people who are going against Harper and saying, hey, man, you know, the Spurs got Harper, which was great. He's a good player and all. But, man, Con Knipple and VJ Edgecombe are lights out right now as shooters, and they were picked number 3 and I believe 6 in the draft. And they're kind of questioning whether or not Harper was the better pick, because Harper was highly touted as the consensus number 2 pick in the draft. Mm-hmm. But that was not a need pick. That was more of a talent pick. The need pick was for a shooter. And now you see some rumblings from Spurs fans. Not me just yet.
Not he is. Yeah.
But, because I love Harper. He's my favorite player on the team. But it's just one of those things where you read the temperature in the room. The some Spurs fans, a minority of Spurs fans, are wondering if the Spurs got that pick right. Because what are we still in need of? A 3-point shooter. What are we in the need of? Someone who could spread the floor. And that's something that Castle and Harper can't do. And, man, I say this all the time. You cannot improve your game dramatically in the NBA. Mm-hmm. Shooters shoot. Defenders defend. Passers pass. And they've known how to do that for years, right? It's hard to develop a 3-point shooter in the NBA. It very rarely happens. Spurs fans hold on to the whole experiment that was Kawhi Leonard back in the day, over a decade ago, thinking that could be duplicated. That is an anomaly. That is a once-in-a-lifetime type of development for a player from 3. I will let you know this. Castle and Harper will not be good 3-point shooters 2 years from now. They won't be.
Interesting. Yeah.
Because they weren't good 3-point shooters in college. They weren't good 3-point shooters in high school. Why would we expect them to be good 3-point shooters later on? So we need to be aware of that as the Spurs draft along the way. Spurs are going to have a lottery pick more than likely this year. We're going to have to be aware of that when it comes to free agency and whatnot, that there are limitations to this game. Harper and Castle can get into the lane. Harper and Castle can drive. They can handle the rock. They can play good defense, but they can't shoot the 3. And we cannot think to ourselves that they're going to be able to do that 2 years from now, 3 years from now. And that's why I get worried about Carter Bryant, is because I fear that 2 years from now, we're going to be having the same conversation about Carter Bryant that we have right now on Jeremy Sohan. Is Carter Bryant Jeremy Sohan 2.0? Just a guy who could play above average defense, who is, a liability on the offensive side of the ball. Right. And I know that these guys are fan favorites for some people, but the fact of the matter is that the game is about efficiency, and the efficiency goes away the second those two guys get on the court.
Yeah. Well, circling back to the topic, are the Spurs coming back down to earth? I don't think so. I don't think so. I think it's too quick to say that right now. There's still like a half a season to go. We're at the midway point. I like where the Spurs are trending. I like how their defense is playing well. Their offense is sputtering, but the reason why they're winning of late and have picked up wins is that defense is good. It ranks among some of the best right now this month, and that's what's keeping them in games. And I think, as they say, defense wins games. That's proving it right now. So I would be way more concerned if their defense dropped the way their offense has dropped of late. But I think last check in the month of January, the Spurs own one of the best defensive ratings in the NBA right now. So I'm not ready to say they're falling back down to earth, but I am willing to say that they just need some time to figure things out, get the rotation set, get everybody healthy. We haven't had everybody healthy for a minute. And then it fell apart again because so we'll see. He is Mike Jimenez formerly with San Antonio Sports Star. Be sure to follow him on X at MJ Acquired Taste. When we get back, we're going to react to what Alex Caruso had to say about Victor Wembanyama and his offense. Yeah, talk about that in just a few seconds.
Fridays already feel different during basketball season, and FanDuel is making them even better. Every Friday night before the game tips off, FanDuel gives fans a new way to kick off the weekend with NBA Happy Hour. NBA Happy Hour is your official pregame, a limited time window where special offers drop right inside the FanDuel app before the action starts. Fridays from 6 to 7:30 p.m. Eastern have become appointment viewing with NBA Happy Hour. Opening the FanDuel app during Happy Hour always brings up the new boosts, bonuses, and surprises. The timing is perfect, right before games, right before the weekend starts. It adds extra energy to Friday with basketball without even overthinking it. So before tip-off, check out the FanDuel app and see what's dropping during NBA Happy Hour every Friday from 6 to 7:30 p.m. Eastern. A little basketball, a little action, a whole lot of Friday energy. That's NBA Happy Hour only at FanDuel, the official sports book partner of the NBA.
We're back right here on Locked On Spurs, joined by Mike Jimenez, formerly with San Antonio Sports Star. He's on X at MJ Acquired Taste. What can he do? He financial advisor, driving, podcasting. He's a husband. He's a dad. Jimenez, you do it all.
Hey, man, I try, I've had good mentors over the years. Good heroes over the years.
Well, this guy's not being the hero for Spurs fans right now, or just a fan at all. Alex Caruso, the Thunder guy. Well, after the game versus San Antonio, where the OKC won, in the locker room, Caruso was asked, "Hey, what do you think about Wemby and his development?" And Caruso, in a nutshell, I'm paraphrasing here, he wasn't bashing Wemby. He did give him some props, but he did say that offensively, in a nutshell, he's still raw. Offensively, he's still trying to figure things out. And then he would launch into how physically Wemby is not as strong, or just not a strong player physically. Right now, he compared him to the strength of Joker, to KD, to Sengun, to Giannis, etc. That got Spurs fans riled up. Oh, Alex, how can you compare Wemby right now and his physical stature and his physical development to guys that have already been there, done that, or are regularly men now? Caruso, you're just salty because the Spurs beat y'all 3 times in a row. Here's your little revenge. You're a Wemby hater. But if we take a step back, is he wrong? Is Alex Caruso wrong, Jimenez?
First of all, as a former journalist, somebody who spent time in the Spurs locker room for 5 or 6 seasons, I have always said that the players don't say what's on their mind. Then they give canned PR responses.
Right.
I found it refreshing what Caruso had to say about Wemby.
Interesting.
I found it absolutely refreshing because it was honest, it was open, and it was like we were talking to each other as friends or as peers, hearing that, as opposed to the him answering to a reporter. It came off different. I don't think he was being disrespectful. I think he was being honest, saying that Wemby is not strong enough, and that because he's not strong, that he's not intimidating offensively. For them to say that Wemby takes too much time to get a shot off, that if you're going to go straight up in the air to shoot a shot, why are you taking 2 dribbles? You know, you're risking the ability, you're risking the possibility of getting swiped. Just go straight up. You know, Caruso mentioned that Wemby's release point's 9 feet in the air, that no one's going to block that. So if you know you're going to go shoot a jumper, shoot the jumper. Don't dribble twice and allow a defender to rush up against you and make the shot more difficult, even if that defender is Caruso and is a foot shorter. Going on to say that Wemby is not fast enough to beat you on the dribble, so why is he trying to dribble past guards? Why is he trying to dribble past small forwards? He's going to turn the ball over or put that ball into risk. That he needs to be more aware of his surroundings and what he's doing. And Wemby's making it more difficult on himself. And it got me thinking, Jeff, you know, what this screams is the fact that Wemby does not have a go-to shot. He doesn't have a signature shot that he can perfect and go to at all times and impose his will. I remember, you know, you go back to Duncan with the bank shot. He gets on the elbow, it's 12 to 15 feet out, bank shot, money. David Robinson catching the ball from 14, 15 feet out, going straight up in the air, perfecting a little mid-range jumper shot. You see opponents like Nowitzki doing a fadeaway from the baseline. The dream shake. How about the sky hook from Kareem Abdul-Jabbar? The great bigs have certain moves that they can rely on and fall back on, and know that, man, if my jumper's not going, if this is not going, at least I know that this move works more often than not. And Wemby does not have one. And I had a friend of mine tell me the other day, well, his signature shot is the 1-foot 3-point shot, and I almost wanted to hit my head against a wall. That's his signature shot. That's not a good thing for someone who's 7'4". I understand the not wanting to put a lot of muscle on him because of his feet. Does not impose his will offensively. And because of that, I don't know if it's being timid or unsure as to what he's doing. Caruso is right in the sense that Wemby's not fast enough to go. Robinson. Remember back in the day, David Robinson's the best Spur I've ever seen in my entire life. He's not the greatest Spur. The greatest Spur is Tim Duncan. But David Robinson is the best Spur athletically. He would blow by a guard back in the day. Wemby can dribble, and he's a unicorn and all that stuff. Guess what? Caruso's right. Wemby can't blow by guards.
Caruso's not wrong. And as a matter of fact, if you go on any game prior to what Caruso had to say, and you just go on social media, what do Spurs fans say? Get in the paint, Wemby. Get in the paint. You're taller than everybody. He's pretty much echoing what a lot of Spurs fans already been saying since day one of his NBA career. So there's that as well. Do I think it was a jab? No. Do I think it was a slight? No. But then, there's arguments against that. You can say, well, Caruso, okay, well then if he's all challenged offensively, why does he get triple teamed? All right. Caruso, if that's true, then why does he average the numbers that he does offensively? But no, I think if you were to ask Wemby, he'll probably say like, no, I have still much to learn. I got to get better. And he has this drive to become better and better and better. That means offensively, great. But no, I didn't take it as a personal shot at Wemby. But if I'm the Spurs, I'm going to make it up like it's a personal shot and just tell him to get him motivated and poke the bear. I'm just doing it on purpose just to get Wemby going.
I said, oh, that's bulletin board material right there, man. You try to do that. And like I said, I like you. I didn't take it as an insult because it didn't sound like he was clowning on Wemby. It sounded like an assessment, almost like he wanted Wemby to take part. I didn't see a diss at all.
No, not at all. No diss whatsoever. He is Mike Jimenez, formerly with San Antonio Sports Star. You want to follow my next at MJ Acquired Taste. Jimenez, be safe out there. We know you do some financial work too. Do you want to promote that as well right here?
Or you can reach out to me on DM me, reach out to me, and I'll schedule an appointment with you guys.
There you go. Make sure to follow him on X at MJ Acquired Taste. Everybody else, we thank y'all for making Locked On Spurs your first listen each and every day. Free and available wherever you get podcasts, iTunes, Spotify, Ken, Spy Plus app, YouTube. And don't forget, join the NBA Everydayer Club. Right now, you get access to free, ad-free Locked On Spurs shows, as well as a Discord channel. You can join and chat it up with other Spurs fans. You want to simply go to lockedonpodcast.com/Everydayer Club. Sign up right now. Fun times ahead if you do that. We'll be back tomorrow. We'll be back on Monday. Yeah, as the Spurs season continues. Hopefully, talk about what happened over the weekend and much, much more. Then we have a special guest lined up for next week, so for that. Again, Jimenez, thank you. Be careful out there driving. Don't do anything. Jimenez, just stay safe. Stay safe. Each other in one piece. But again, everybody, we'll be back. Yeah, be safe, Jimenez. We'll be back on Monday. So for Mike Jimenez, I am Jeff Garcia. We're going to put a lock on this episode of Locked On Spurs.